sessions are not the thing that determine whether or not you can trade. Sessions are what determines which pairs should be traded during which times. Quick disclaimer, these videos are meant for educational purposes only. Anything said or shown in any of these videos are personal opinion and my perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, so anything done is your responsibility. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to mentfx. This is going to be a quick video highlighting the importance of utilizing session-based trading in your actual trading plan and applying a smart money approach to sessions and understanding how to do that. Now, before we get started, very quickly, it's been an absolutely amazing month. I hope all of you have had a very happy Merry Christmas with all your families. I hope you all enjoy your New Year's as it comes around and you spend it with your families or however it is you want to spend it. So happy New Year's to everyone. 2022 is about to be insane. We're having some insane plans for you guys this upcoming year. And just to give you guys a little sneak peek, mentfunding, the link at the very top, has done over a few $1 million already within 2 months of operation in terms of funding people. And we've had a over $63,000 payout from just one individual as well. So it's absolutely insane. It's doing very well, and I can't wait to see and bring on some of the people that have been able to utilize mentfx, the community, and their trading plans to create that kind of success for themselves with our funding model, which is again one step and up to $1 million with lowest spread in the industry. Now, another short little announcement is I made a little community post talking about the fact that an algorithm, the mentfx algorithm, is going to be coming out soon. As you can see right here, it is a sneak peek of a bunch of indicators that I'd coded based on the way that I view price. You can see it's based in the idea of structure, in the idea of Wyckoff and Wyckoff ranges, in the idea of being able to confirm them utilizing either lower time frame accumulations such as these yellow candles or higher time frame accumulations utilizing a variety of structures to highlight it and show it with these green little dots. So it's going to be a really interesting thing when I make that available. Of course, it will be a free trial, and I'm allowing a few people to beta test it for free. So if you want to be one of those people, message me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me. It's just at mentfx, and I'd be happy to get you a version of it so I can get your thoughts on it, and you don't have to pay a single dime to test it. Now, this will be a paid one in the future. However, for this specific video, we are going to be talking a little bit about session-based trading and the importance of sessions from a standpoint that you haven't thought about before, because a lot of the information out there in terms of sessions and how you should be thinking about them is actually it's correct, but it's not going to help you in the status that it is taught, right? A lot of people think that there's a specific time that you need to trade, that you can trade, that you're going to get the type of moves you want to get, and it's true in one sense of the word, but it's very untrue in another. So let's talk about sessions very quickly. For the most part, what you need to understand about sessions is the exact times during which sessions occur and when the best type of trading is going to happen. So we have a few things to actually get into here, right? So let's go ahead and draw this out. So you have a few sessions that you need to worry yourself about. It's going to be based on EST time, which is New York time. So you're going to have to go into this after and make sure you line that up with your specific time zone and see what the best way of making those correspond are, right? So Asian session, usually, at least in my book, the Asian session occurs from about 7 p.m. EST. So actually, we'll start with the rollover. So rollover is when you really don't want to trade and spreads widen big time, and there's just no reason to trade, especially unless you're already in a trade or you're swing trading. And this is oftentimes from about 5 to 6:30 p.m. EST, which is a time I don't think that anyone should be trading if you're not in a trade already. Now, after that, you follow up with the Asian session, which is oftentimes, at least in my book, from what I've noticed and from what I've traded myself, is 7 p.m. EST till about 1 to 1:30 a.m. So about 1 a.m. EST. That is pretty much the Asian session. That's the best times that I trade actually during Asia, but we're going to talk about that in a second again. Then you have the follow-up of London session, which I believe is oftentimes from that 1 a.m. mark or around 1:30, 2 a.m. So around there until around, I believe, 7 to 8 a.m. So we'll call it 8 a.m. EST. So these might be a little bit off. This is just from my own journey and what I've noticed in terms of the movements in the market that we're going to talk about in a second. So these might be a little bit off. You can look them up, but these are the best zones that you can characterize these moves by. Then you have New York, which oftentimes is basically 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Starts at around 8, 9 a.m. and goes until about 4 p.m. But you can more so call it until 12, right? So what I'm talking about is more like a 8 to 9, which is when London and New York overlap. They overlap for more than that, but this is basically the main overlap. London and New York overlap. You can call this actually like to 11. We'll just do that. 8 to 11 a.m. EST, the London-New York overlap. And then you have New York that comes in basically from 11 a.m. until like 5 p.m., 4 p.m., but you don't really want to be trading down into that, so we'll call it a 2 p.m., right? So these are the main important sessions that I would actually relate to, even though these do not line up exactly with the times that you are taught on like Baby Pips or any of the other educational platforms, or even in some of the smart money educational platforms. These are the main times during which moves that you want to be looking for are happening. Now, what's beautiful about this way of thinking and this session-based thinking is that you can be a trader during any one of these sessions, with the exception of like rollover. I hate rollover. You should not be trading it, right? When spreads widen, they take away from the bottom line, which is your edge, and you never want to utilize something that takes away from your bottom line. That's why I also think about that way during like large news events, right? It can be good and you could trade it and you could be right, but it's going to affect the overall bottom line, especially when spreads widen or broker shutdowns happen or broker issues occur, and it's going to affect your overall edge, which you never want in a system, right? That's why part of your rule should be to find a way to deal with staying out of this rollover session. Now, I myself actually find myself trading more often during this Asian session. Now, what's interesting is a lot of smart money educators, or a lot of educators in general, will tell you that Asia is untradeable, or just ranges and consolidates, which is oftentimes true, but they're looking at the wrong pairs, right? What you need to recognize about the Asian session is that since it's the Asian session, it's the Asian time zone, what's happening is Asian pairs are the ones that are going to find the most liquidity and volatility and movement during those times. So what you'll notice here on the screen is that I have UJ open. This has been my week in review, basically, right? From the 27th, which I believe was Monday. I hope it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep. So from the 27th, which is Monday, and you can see all these little lines here. We can make this black actually so you guys can see it better. Here we go. So you guys can actually notice it, right? And you can see them delineating from 7 p.m. until this was until 1:30. Wait, where was it? 1:30, which was right here. But actually, it should be going to 1. I only included the 1:30 a.m. because I was still watching for trades during this time, and I was able to find something, and I was still managing it during this, so it ended up being 1:30, but we can call it 1. That's why you can see here, I basically allow some leeway between London and Asia, right? That's why I said London can start around 1:30 to 2 a.m. Now, the important thing is you can see that on this screenshot, I have all these lines being delineated here. I'll make them black so you guys can see them better, but they're all in those same areas, right? From 7 p.m. until 1 a.m. And notice that during these times, if we zoom in on price and look at it, during these times, I mean, with the exception of this one where it was very stagnant, you actually have very major moves and major lower time frame moves. So let's go to 1 minute and zoom out. You can see that during these times, you actually have very major moves and major volatility and nice structural plays and continuations during these times. Now, a lot of people would tell you that Asian session doesn't have anything that you can really trade, but notice how in every single one of these line delineated sessions, in this case from 7 p.m. till about 1 a.m. EST, there are actually very nice moves. What is the reason for that? Well, that's because when we're looking at the Asian session, of course, if you're looking at an Asian session on Euro US dollar, something that is European, which is based in the London and New York session, or the dollar, which is based in the New York session or the London session, that's when most of the volatility will happen. So if you wanted to be a trader that traded during London or New York or the overlap, you'd be much better off trading things like Euro dollar, gold, GBP USD, because those are going to be lining up with the main times during which traders, people are waking up and on their computers and at their desks and actually trading, right? If you're trading the Asian session during a larger major like Euro US dollar, you're not going to see much movement, and instead you're going to often notice this consolidation movement, and you're always going to be like, oh, I can't trade Asia, unfortunate. Well, I trade Asia only now. I like trading Asia pretty much on its own. Like I sometimes look at the morning of London, New York if I'm up. I usually actually sleep in or I'm just working with students. And by the way, if you want to take your own education to the next level, check out the Launchpass link in the description. We have an absolutely amazing group with people that continue to get funded. All of it's documented on Instagram, so check that out. And you can see that, you know, even if you just joined today, just scrolling up this much, right? This is all still today, right? So it's a very active, one of the most active communities in the world. And if you want to take that, your education to the next level and surround yourself with amazing people, with amazing course content, with over 100 plus hours of private content and exclusive concepts and confirmations, this is definitely the place for you. Now, that said, let's get back to this. So what you're going to notice is that the pairs that are associated with the respective session are the pairs that are going to have are the pairs that you're going to find the volatility with and the liquidity injections in during those sessions. So if you're someone that wants to trade during Asia, it doesn't make sense to look at something like Euro US dollar or Pound US dollar. Instead, it makes more sense to look at something like UJ, because JPY is something that's going to be traded during those hours, or something like NZD USD, because the New Zealand dollar is oftentimes traded and people on that time zone are usually in line with the Asian session. Similarly, if you looked at the London and New York times, which is like 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. or the 8 till 11, so basically 8 until 11 or 8 until 2 p.m., right? This is like this area. You're going to see on pairs like the yen, which is traded during Asia, you're going to see the same kind of consolidation, right? Or that same kind of ill movement of price during that time, because during this time that liquidity injection or volatility is not being brought to the market, right? This is what people mistake about sessions. It's not that there's specific sessions that are just better than the others. No, there's just sessions that are in line with the pair you're trading, and that pair is going to become more volatile and have more liquidity and volume injections in it during those times. So if you're someone that needs to trade Asia, or has a job, or only has time to be on the computer during Asian session, well, your best bet is actually to trade UJ or NZD USD or GBP JPY, pairs that are going to be synonymous with the time zones of the people that live in those time zones, that are going to be respected and shown on the charts during those times, just like all of these delineated lines are showing you these large movements in that time, those large movements in that time, those large movements in that time, those large movements in that time. Now, other times, what you're going to find is when it's an hour or the hours of London, New York, you're going to see the large consolidations. You're going to see the large consolidations. You're going to see the large consolidations, right? It's not about the fact that the London and the New York session is the best. The London and New York session are the best for what? Euro US dollar, GBP US dollar, gold. I'm just thinking about the majors right now. My brain is like a little bit fried. I've been doing a lot coming into the New Year's, but really excited about what 2022 is going to bring for mentfx. But this is just your quick update and showing you that it's not so much about the times you trade, it's more so about the times that are lining up with the actual currencies you trade, right? So if you're someone that wants to trade the Asian session, there's nothing wrong with that. And you're going to find beautiful and very clean moves during those times using things like the 3-box methodology, using things like Wyckoff, using things like the double MB, right? Which is stuff that you will only find in the private mentorship, which if you want to take your own understanding to the next level and gain access to some of that stuff with trading plans, with psychological things, with community-based understanding, definitely check out that link at the bottom. So this is your quick update to show you that it's not about the times that you trade, it's more so the pairs that you trade during which times. And really what you want to do is decide the pairs you want to trade, or decide the time that you want to trade. And if it is something like Asia, find those Asian pairs that are characterized by the yen, by the NZD, right? NZD JPY, odd JPY, stuff like that. Also, I think maybe even the Aussie dollar, I'm not sure exactly what time zone they're on, and you're going to find that same injection of volatility and that same injection of liquidity and that same injection of movement and the delivery of price to certain points, like liquidity points and structural points, during those times. And if you're someone that wants to be on the London or New York session, or if you're in London, then you should go and characterize your movements and look for setups and trade during the sessions of London, New York. Because the same way that you're going to see these huge stops in price, right, during these sessions, you're going to see the same thing on EU, right? For instance, during that 8 a.m., which is around, where is that? Here, right? Until the 12, right? So basically the overlap, you're going to see that large movement. Similarly, during that 7 p.m. until 1 a.m., you're going to see the large consolidations, right? This is just flipped. So if you're someone that constantly wants to be on the charts, or doesn't know what time is best to trade, or just finds out that you're basically sleeping through all these best times to trade, well, switch up not only the time zone, but the pair you're trading during which time zone, right? If you want that volatility and you want that movement to come in during a session that people have taught you to think about as consolidation, then switch to a pair that's actually going to have that type of movement and delivery during that time. And then all of a sudden, it's going to start to add up and start to create a very nice strategy for you that you can decide what time you want to trade it. And if you get that trading plan to a point where you can execute it consistently and do it profitably, you should consider something like mentfunding with our offers of a one-step, no time limit funding model, and all the links to the mentorship and the funding are found below. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy New Year's. I'm really looking forward to what we have in plan coming into coming into next year. And you're going to absolutely find this. I'm looking forward to getting this algorithm released. And again, there's going to be a free trial, of course, and you're going to have the opportunity to test this and decide if this is something that is worthwhile for you. And again, this is non-repaint. All this is live time that it comes up. And you're going to be able to have access to this coming to the new year. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, just so you understand, sessions are not the thing that determine whether or not you can trade. Sessions are what determines which pairs should be traded during which times. And for the rough ballpark, you should utilize the ones I have written out here, right? So let me get rid of these again. Right, so for the ballpark, you just want to utilize the times I've written out here, or you can look up and find the exact times that you like to test during, right? A lot of my testing for the Asian session happened during 7 p.m. till about 12 or 1 a.m. if I haven't found anything and I'm still waiting for a move to develop, right? So that's just the general time that I want to look for Asian moves. Right now, Asian might start a little bit before that, a little bit after, right? You could even do an 8 p.m. until 1 a.m. and that could still work, or even an 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. There's some plays that you can make between that. But what you need to recognize is that it's not that there's some kind of random little kill zone or that during this one time something amazing happens. It's just that during these sessions, based on the pairs you're looking at, there's going to be more liquidity and injection into the market, during which better 3-box strategy plays are going to set up, better liquidity plays are going to set up, better Wyckoff systems and setups are going to happen, and better mitigations of prior demand zones or supply zones are going to occur, right? And all you have to do is determine what times is best for you to trade if you're a scalper or if you're on the lower time frames, and line that up with the currency that experiences those larger moves, those better mitigations, those kill zone mitigations during that time, allowing for you to develop a system around any time that you want to trade and allowing you to take that understanding to the next level. And again, if you want to partake in one of the best and most active communities in the industry, check out our website below, thelaunchpass.com/mentfx to get started today and join up with the community. People have joined up. Check out the Instagram. There's testimonials consistently of people getting funded, taking themselves to the next level, people getting funded with Mentfunding and with other firms. And once again, thank you so much, guys. Happy early New Year's, and I will see you all when 22 arrives. Thank you very much, all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.